Hey everyone, how's it going? So, I'm not lying by this title. This battle took me, I think, 45 minutes in real time, and the battle video is only 18, so you guys are pretty lucky. But yeah, let's get right to this battle. They're using a pretty standard set, and they're pretty decent, unlike the last two trainers I fought. I'm using a bunch of gimmicky Pokemon that actually aren't supposed to go together, so let's see how I do. Okay, so I start out with my supersized Pumpkaboo. And this set is max special defense and max HP, and you can see it's going to take that Bug Buzz really well. So basically, it is a stally lead. Now, Frisk is why I like to lead with it. Getting to know your opponent's item, pretty helpful, although I could have guessed Galvantula would lead with Focus Sash. You see that all the time, the Suicide Galvantula lead. They lay down their Sticky Web. Now, I don't know why they didn't do it turn 1. I guess they thought they might take out the Pumpkaboo, because I guess you don't see Pumpkaboo too often. Now, the reason I'm max special defense, not max defense, is because you can learn Will-O-Wisp. So Will-O-Wisp, I find, gives me the coverage on the physical side, and my stats give me the coverage on the special side, because Supersized Pumpkaboo's defense is actually better than special defense. And, worst comes to worst, even if it's against a special attacker, you can stall with Protect, and Leech Seed's going to recover your health. Will-O-Wisp used to do, or Burn, I should say, used to do 1/8 of their damage, or I should say, English, please. It used to take away 1/8 of their health every turn. So, it's already at like half health or below. I'm not too upset by that. They go for Giga Drain, and you might think, oh, that was a dumb move, but it really wasn't. It actually made a huge difference. I went for Seed Bomb on this turn. It's my only attacking move. And, yeah, on the team this Pumpkaboo is actually from, it's the only thing that can really, get water Pokemon, like Quagsire or water ground Pokemon consistently. That's why I gave it Seed Bomb. Like I said, this team doesn't really go together. I can't even remember why I played them together, but, enough about reminiscing. Galvantula lives on like 1 health. That was really bad. And they swap into Togekiss. So if you wanted an entire video on why I hate, bulky Togekiss, here you go. I swap out Pumpkaboo. I don't like this matchup. I know they're going to go for Thunder Wave. I've predicted it. So in comes my Carlton Stunfisk. That's an old baseball reference. I'm just that cool. But Thunder Wave doesn't affect me, so I'm also happy. Now, they swap out their Togekiss, and they swap into their Ditto. So unlike the last two trainers, this person is trying to predict my moves. This, I can't fault them for as close as this battle was. The point of my gimmicky sets are sort of throw people off. It wouldn't work twice. If I face this person again, they'd probably beat me like, 5-6-0. So you might wonder why'd they go for Scald there? Well, my theory is they thought I'd swap and they were hoping for the burn. Now, truth be told, Earth Power, which is what I use, I think it would have worked better, but I guess they were worried maybe I'd swap into Pumpkaboo and they just wanted to, or they thought like, a good consolation prize would be getting a burn. And the reason I'm, sort of pumping this opponent's tires is because I thought they'd swap, so I do the exact same thing. I could have gone for Sludge Bomb, but I didn't know what they'd swap into, and I thought, well, consolation prize burn maybe. Unfortunately, it works for them, doesn't work for me, and me being burned actually ends up being really costly. So Togekiss, I think its only attacking move is Air Slash, so it swaps out once again, and in comes the shiny Cofagrigus. So, by the way, when I was a little kid, when I was like 17 or whatever, like 16 when Black and White came out, little kid, I used to call this Cofagarius, and if I do that, I apologize. So Cofagarius, that was intentional, uses Shadow Ball, and incidentally, Shadow Ball is doing almost as much as the burn, which is to say, it's not doing very much. This Stunfisk is the same set I used in my last video, so max defense, max HP with Assault Vest and 4 attacking moves. That's also why Ditto didn't go for like Stealth Rocks, because I don't have it. It is undoubtedly Choice Scarf, so, in comes the Togekiss predicting another Earth Power. Probably should have gone for Discharge there. I probably should have predict their prediction, but, with if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, I think the saying is. I don't know. Anyway, they swap out, and this time I just went for Discharge. I knew Discharge would be good against anything, and maybe I'd get the Parahax. So I get off the Discharge. It didn't do too much that first time, but it crits, and I get the Parahax. So I can't complain about luck in this battle. That was really lucky. And, despite the fact Stunfisk didn't take anything out, it did solid damage to Cofagrigus and Ditto, so I'm pretty happy with its performance. Now, Pyroar, I feel really bad. By the way, yes, it's in a Dive Ball. I love that. This is an physical attacking, sweeping Pyroar with Moxie. Unfortunately, I know Cofagrigus has Mummy, I didn't want to swap anything else into this. Maybe I could have swapped in Blastoise. I don't know why I swapped in Pyro. I'm not sure what I was thinking at the time. But I go for the Flame Charge. I get my speed back because Sticky Web is on the field, so my Pokemon are going to be slower. Unfortunately, after Life Orb damage and Rocky Helmet damage, I'm already at pretty low health. But I have a plan against this Feraligatr. So although this is a physical sweeper with Return, Flame Charge, and Crunch, I didn't know what fourth move to put on it. So I gave it Will-O-Wisp. Why? I don't know. Once in a blue moon, I use it. And here's an example. I thought Feraligatr was going to take me out, but I knew I'd outspeed, so I was prepared to sacrifice my Pyroar. I guess they thought I'd swap out, trying to conserve my Pyroar, but no, I tricked them. So, again, this is why I think they beat me another time. I really, used a lot of mind games here. So I see that Feraligatr has Life Orb. I could have told you that's the Sheer Force Life Orb set. That's pretty much what it always is. But because of the burn, it's not going to do very much damage to Pumpkaboo. Also, the fact it resists it and its Aqua Jet doesn't help. And I'm sure they didn't like that it wasn't doing a lot of damage. So they use a second Dragon Dance, which just nullifies the burn. So burn is still very useful, right? They had to use 2 Dragon Dances and allowed me to get off a Leech Seed. Yeah, I'm okay with how this is going. Now, I only know it has Aqua Jet and Dragon Dance. I don't know its other moves. So I actually was a little greedy here and went for the Seed Bomb on this turn. And it almost cost me because Feraligatr, excuse me. I would use a Croconaw. Feraligatr goes for Crunch, and I just survive on 17 health. I get off the Seed Bomb, and surprisingly, Pumpkaboo's attack isn't that bad, so it does quite a bit of damage and takes out the Feraligatr. Now, they're going to send out their Galvantula, and maybe I should have used Protect last turn, you would be saying, against the Feraligatr. Well, good news is I get to use it against Galvantula, and because it's burned, I'm going to be able to take out the Galvantula, and that's really cool. So I get to sort of use this Pumpkaboo as fodder, maybe swap it in again to find out what Pokemon or what item a Pokemon's carrying. Although I know this thing has leftovers. Yeah, I don't know why they swapped out here. That's really a weird sort of decision. They swap into Ditto, and I think it was a big mistake. I mean, this really wasn't good for Ditto. So I went for Will-O-Wisp. I just was going to sacrifice Pumpkaboo. Why would I save my Pumpkaboo on 17 health? It's just not worth it. And it allowed me to burn, obviously I knew Togekiss would outspeed me. I have the speed drop, so I'm able to burn it, then get off the Scumbag Protect, and this does 2 things. 1, it gets off an extra round of burn damage, but 2, I see what move it's going to use, because every Ditto with Imposter runs Choice Scarf. Unless you're like, Pimp Knight, who's a very popular YouTuber, who once ran, what did he run once? Quick Claw? You always are going to run. And by the way, when I used Ditto in earlier generations, I would run Quick Claw. But no, otherwise, you run Ditto with Choice Scarf. That's the thing. So, unfortunately, once again, survives on like 1 health, annoying as heck. And out comes Talonflame. I guess they predicted the Flame Charge. And yeah, so I'm going to take some Life Orb damage. It does decent enough damage. I mean, the reason I have Life Orb, by the way, in case you're wondering, is because Pyroar's attack isn't great. And I do want to take advantage of Moxie, and I like just using non-standard sets. Pyroar is just always used as a decent special sweeper, but it can be a pretty, secretive, what's the word I'm trying to use? Surprise! There's the word. English again. Sorry, like when you record something for this is like my 5th take, English starts becoming difficult. Okay, so I swap in Blastoise. Talonflame's not going to like that matchup. It's on half health. Another Pokemon that annoys me. Really good revenge killer. And here's where the battle just becomes stally as anything. I go for Aqua Jet, so this is another Assault-vested Pokemon. Now, word to the wise, never have 2 Assault-vested Pokemon on a team unless they're meant to go together. And this Blastoise and Stunfisk really don't complement each other well. I'm going to be honest, this Blastoise set really doesn't do very well. It was sort of a gimmick I thought up where I'd give it Assault Vest, Power Up Punch, Ice Punch, Earthquake, and Aqua Jet. Yeah, it doesn't work that well. And this battle isn't going to really make you think, oh, great set, J-Ro. It's like, nope, it did pretty bad in this battle. I get off an Ice Punch, but it doesn't do quite a lot of damage. If I had to guess, I'd say this Togekiss is max defense, max health. And yeah, with leftovers, so I know it has Roost. Thunder Wave and Air Slash, it probably doesn't have Heal Bell because it might have used it already. Or maybe it does. Probably does have Heal Bell. It just, isn't concerned about the burn to Ditto. Sorry about my voice cracking, by the way. Sort of just getting over a cold. Also gives you an opportunity to laugh at my voice cracks. Anyway, not much to commentate here. Probably should have sped this part up, but, I had to suffer through this in real time, so, you do too. I actually had this in a video where I worked out the calculations, and I think this is the battle that made me actually calculate it out. How much, what is the % chance you attack when you're paralyzed and Serene Grace Air Slash hits you? And I think it's like 32%. So roughly the same chance of using a one-hit KO move. And you know how much those land. So yeah, basically, I was trying to go for Ice Punch a bunch of times, but on this last turn, I go for Aqua Jet just to get a little more damage. Yeah, I would have liked Blastoise to have done more in this battle. I still have hope for this set one day, but today, it just got owned by Togekiss. Alright, so what am I going to use? Togekiss at about 3/4 health. What could possibly take this thing out? Well, I go for Kadabra, because Kadabra is just the best thing in the world. I mean, not just Pokemon, it's the best thing. Okay, tone it down. Me. Anyway, I get hit by Air Slash, and I flinch. Thankfully, this turn, I'm not going to get flinched because they're going to go for Roost. Now, I have no idea why they chose to do this. Maybe they thought they were going to run out of Air Slashes. I don't know. But it allowed me to get off a Thunder Wave. And, yeah, that ended up mattering. So, file that one away for little thing that was huge. I swap out Kadabra once I get the Thunder Wave up. This Kadabra, by the way, really weird set. And I'll explain it a little bit better once it becomes relevant. So I swap in Pumpkaboo because I didn't want Kadabra to get too damaged. And, Pumpkaboo gets off Leech Seed, so that's going to be nice. Unfortunately, as soon as Togekiss uses Air Slash, I'm gone. And, oh, yep, there it is. So there goes Pumpkaboo, and, yeah, the battle's really close. I mean, we still have a lot of time left, but this is a really close battle. Thankfully, I got my revenge-killing Sylveon, and yes, you've never seen a Sylveon like this one before. Unfortunately, they're going to see exactly what my moves are because they're going to swap into their Ditto. So they have two other Pokemon left, Talonflame and obviously Togekiss, which is swapped out. Now, they go into Ditto, which is on like no health, and they can see I'm well, they can't see I'm Choice Banded, but they probably figured it. I'm Choice Banded with Retaliate, Iron Tail, Secret Power, and Heal Bell. So yeah, you wanted a gimmicky set? This is the gimmickiest set I run, and I'm gonna be honest, it works really, really well. No one is expecting Retaliate from a Sylveon, and yeah, I mean, you can do some really great damage, like those 8 abilities, like Pixelate, they're just really great. Oh yeah, I should probably talk about what my Kadabra's doing. Yeah, I'll talk about that another time. Anyway, Kadabra right now, I'm getting greedy here, and I'm trying to set up this strategy. So this Kadabra is Bold Nature, Max Defense, Max Health, and it knows Thunder Wave, Calm Mind, Recover, and Psychic. So it is easily walled and taken out by Dark Pokemon. What I'm trying to do is sweep through the rest of their team. I know I'll be able to survive a Brave Bird, and they don't know that, but unfortunately, they use Thunder Wave, and I was hoping I would outspeed Togekiss, but with the drop from the Sticky Web, I do not. And even though with those 2 Calm Minds, Air Slash is like doing no damage, I'm still not being able to attack, and it's doing enough damage that it'll take me out in 2-3 more turns. So I'm trying to actually stall out their Air Slashes, but I get paralyzed here, and thankfully I get a really clutch paralysis on their part, and I'm still holding out hope for Kadabra being able to sweep through the team, so I get off a Recover, and I don't know why, but they swap out here. I'm really not sure why. Now, they send in their Talonflame, probably trying to take out Kadabra, and I go for a second Recover, and I didn't think they'd swap out, but this ended up being a really smart move on my part. Not that I knew this was going to happen, but it worked out quite well. So their Talonflame knows Taunt. I don't see that happening too often. I went for Psychic, and if only this battle would have been over quicker. But no, I don't get off the Psychic. It goes for Brave Bird thinking, oh, I'll take out Kadabra, but nope. That Eviolite bulk, man. That bulky Eviolite Bold Nature Kadabra just tanked a Brave Bird from a Life Orb Talonflame. By the way, I'm not actually joking. This Kadabra set works incredibly well. One time only. It can surprise people a lot because Kadabra is known as a very frail Pokemon, usually Focus Sash or Life Orb with Magic Guard. But yeah, I mean, it didn't actually take out Talonflame, but it did make it take itself out. So I'm counting that as a KO for Kadabra. And all that's left is this really obnoxious Togekiss. Unfortunately, all I have left is the Sylveon. So, okay, what move to use? That's the question. I chose Iron Tail, and let me explain why. I was worried I wouldn't take out the Togekiss with a single Retaliate. And if I didn't, I only have 4 PP left, and this is a very bulky Togekiss. You know, if Retaliate, the 70 base power one, doesn't do enough damage, I will start struggling and I will lose the battle. So I figured the best chance I have of winning is to go for Iron Tail. I do have Choice Band, and Iron Tail does have a chance to lower defense. Although it can miss 25% of the time, and I'm paralyzed, and they're going to start spamming Air Slash. But I'm hoping Sylveon's natural bulk, so I'm max speed, max attack, and it does have Roost, so it can stall me out. But I'm thinking, based on the damage I did on turn 1, that if Iron Tail connects and gets that really clutch defense drop, and I think it's like a 10 to 20% chance, I don't know offhand, I could possibly take out Togekiss in one hit. Or crit, something like that. So I'm really, yeah, I guess I'm praying a bit for a miracle. I didn't want to go for Retaliate because I knew if that failed, I was done. Thankfully, I get a really clutch Parahax there. I go for the Iron Tail, and it survives. Just survives. And I remember jumping up and down, like, you know, that's something I do. I'm just that mature. But I was jumping up and down thinking, I did it. I won this battle. It's over. Like in turn 55. But no, it survives, gets off a Roost. So I go for the Iron Tail again, and it survives again. This time on even less health than the last time, and I'm like, come on! Come on, just faint! I want to win this one so badly! You know, and I know, like, Iron Tail's gonna start missing, I'm gonna start getting paralyzed, like, I know it's coming, and it's just gonna start air slashing. So I'm like, oh, there it is, there it is! I got Parahaxed, it's it, the battle's over, got the Roost off. You know, and I think it would have KO'd, by the way, that next time. So I'm just going nuts. I'm so angry. You know, that Iron Tail would have done it. It goes for Roost again, so it's at full health. I go for Iron Tail. It hits. And I have no words. I let that animation speak for itself. I mean, all right, now I just have to hit one more time. I just have to hit one more time. That's all I'm saying. Hit one more time. Hit one more time. Hit one more time. Don't get paralyzed. Hit one more time. Come on. Come on, Sylveon. Come on, Sylveon. No! Sylveon, you're not listening to me. So Togekiss gets a bit of leftovers recovery. And, you know, it goes for Air Slash. So I'm like, oh, crap. There it is. The battle's over. And I get through it. And I hit it. And I win. I was so happy. I would have wasted 40 minutes just to lose. I know this happened months ago, but yeah, I'm still so happy. You know, even rewatching it again, it takes me back. So yeah, I usually talk about my sets, but this video has already been almost 20 minutes. So I'll probably just post a comment in the description. Thank you for watching. Take care.